We good?
Yeah, he's my mentor, Mr. Stewart,
Good
and
morning.
good morning, we are in John F. Kennedy High School. I'm Afreen Fatima. I'm doing this teachers program. This is for my clinical, and he gonna guide me for all the 12 weeks. For the 5 videos, this is the baseline video, and we're gonna talk about it. And the lesson number is Unit 6, Lesson 5. Mr. Stewart gonna guide me. So by the end of this lesson, I'll be able to explain the meaning of quadratic equation by creating a table graph or equation of the height of falling object. So this lesson starts with the warm-up, and we're gonna give students 5 minutes. Right, Mr. Stewart? Like 5 or 7 minutes?
Yes. So usually about 5 or 7 minutes for the warm up. So we do take into consideration that we are working with students who do have special needs. So on our warm ups, we normally give them extended time. So normally we'll prepare the lesson for about 5 minutes, but we normally give additional time based on how the students are progressing on the warm-up. So usually anywhere between 5 and 7 minutes for the
Because of
warm-up.
the accommodation you're
Yes,
saying,
because
and we have more of ARS, right?
Yes, so all of our students are IEP students, so they all receive accommodation. So they're students with autism. So we do prepare a modified lesson based off of that as well.
So in this lesson, what do you notice, like, what you wonder? There are different set of numbers are given, and they're going to identify it, and usually they will see on the smart board, and they will answer the students. And they will be equally participant and involved and answer. It's like, you do, I do, and we do. Like the thing, it's not like one way. We are just getting involved each and everything. So the objective will be, I can explain the meaning of the terms in quadratic expression that represent the height of a falling object. This is the lesson 5. And I can use the table graphs and equation to represent the height of falling object. And like, falling from the sky, and reason about the values in some data and built a model. And in upcoming slides, we have given the like a big building model. I can show you on the screen. This is the model that has been given, and a rock is dropped from the top of the building, top of the floor, how it fell down, how it captured the distance. So the distance would be captured, and we were explaining to the student. That's what we did, right, Mr. Stewart?
That is correct, absolutely. So we gave a scenario based off of a rock that was thrown from a 500-foot building, and the students are responsible for interpreting how far the rock has fallen, and also to interpret how far the rock is from the ground.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, they will tell us the number, and does the object fall the same distance every successive second, or how do you know? Like, these are the things. So this is standard 1. We are doing it on the Moreland. It's same somewhat because I'm in MCPS. Moreland and MCPS somewhat similar, but not exactly. I can show you Mr. Stewart because he is guiding me on the standard, which InTASC standard. This is the standard which you already guided me for that.
Right.
Standard 1, 2, 3. So this is the baseline video which we are talking today.
Okay.
So from this, moving ahead, like 4 more videos, you're gonna check for me.
Yes.
So he's going to guide me. He'll help me in everything right from the beginning. We started with the top, and then we decided how we're gonna move forward.
Correct.
So depending on this, Mr. Stewart, what you want me to do, like the learner and the learning, the standard 1 and 2 and 3. So this is based on this our video for today.
Yeah. So the only thing that I would suggest for Miss Fatima is always just take into consideration the learner in the class. So we know that because of the uniqueness of our class, because we work with students who do have IEPs and require a lot of accommodations and supplementary aids and services, so we have to plan according to that. Also, we do have to realize that in the planning that we may have to make room for modifications. We also have to know that sometimes we will have to extend a lesson. So if the lesson is not covered in a day, it may take an additional day, or may take a half a day. So we always have to make sure that we keep that into consideration and be mindful of that in planning. The other thing that Ms. Fatima needs to be aware of is just making sure that we're not teaching above the students, but that we're teaching them where they are. And then the goal is to bring them up to level where we desire them to be, at least to show some evidence of learning. Some students will show mastery on some of these content subject areas, but not all of them. But at least if students are able to give us at least one or two key components from the lesson, then we will deem that to be a successful lesson.
So, Mr. Stewart, when I check them, like, with the IXL and also assessments,
Yes.
we know the gradings, how they are improving
Correct. Yes. So what we do is a lot of times we will assign practice. So we use Delta Math, we use IXL. We'll also have cool downs every week, which is a small assessment just for students to at least show that they understand one or two of the concepts from from the week's lesson. So for Unit 6, Lesson 5, the students should be able to recognize patterns. They should be able to fill out a table. They should be able to tell us what the distance is that the rock is falling. They should be able to tell us how far the rock is from the ground. So that is kind of the scenario that we use for Unit 6, Lesson 5. They should also be able to tell us what the equation is for distance, which is 16t squared. So we're also looking for that, and also for students to be able to plug in different information to use that equation to find out the distance traveled by a certain object.
So that's the reason we are using t-square, so that in upcoming class they know the standard form and they can recognize those things?
That is correct. So they're going to
Okay.
use, so what they'll do is so moving forward, students will be able to interpret the distance equation. We're going to introduce velocity. We're going to introduce a starting point. So as we move on into further lessons, those should be the three things that they should be able to identify in an equation. So they should be able to identify the speed, the velocity. They should be able to identify the time. They should also be able to identify the starting point, or the initial value is what we like to call it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Stewart.
You're
I really
quite welcome.
appreciate, and I'm looking forward to learn more from
Yes.
you and get the like mastery lesson
Yes.
from you. So thank you so much. This is Afreen Fatima and Mr. Stewart.
Thank you for your
Thank
time,
you.
Ms. Fatima. All the
Thank
best
you
to
for
you.
your time.
Yes, you're welcome.